Tasmin Mitchell, as you know now, new assistant basketball coach, already cleaning up on the trail as he was the lead recruiter down on at Jalen Cook down at Walker High School and continuing to do great work out there. And he's also got the tough task of getting in between Will Wade and the officials during the game when Wade is riding the officials, and Tasman's got to kind of jump up there and get in the middle. But I wanted to bring Tasman on this morning and talk a little bit about LSU basketball. But I wanted to talk to him more about Kobe because if you know Tasman, when he was coming out of high school, he was the recruit. I mean, he was a top 5 recruit in America. Everybody in the country was coming after him. He had access to guys like that. I'm not saying that he met Kobe, but I mean, he was that type of athlete. But Kobe was in his prime at that time. So just to get a mindset of somebody that was so highly regarded during that time of recruitment and where Kobe was, and I thought Tasman would be a great resource to talk to this morning. He's a great friend. He's going to be the future mayor of Denham Springs one day. But as we said, he's a great the LSU basketball history, and now he's on the staff, and he's joining us here on Off the Bench. Good morning, man. How are you?
Good morning, my guy. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good. Saw that Garrett Temple got engaged. Congratulations to him. Love to see that team having so much success as you guys are moving on. So let's start with LSU. Let's start with LSU. You guys are rolling right now. Finally one that feels a little bit more comfortable in winning in 90-76 the other night. But this team, Taz, is kind of starting to gel. From the inside, how do you feel about the group?
Well, before we get started, man, I'm glad you mentioned Garrett, man. I want to congratulate him, man, and his lovely fiance, man. You know, he's an awesome dude, man. Wonderful guy, man. He deserves it, and I want to say congratulations to my brother on that, on his engagement.
Absolutely, Absolutely. Well said. Great for our city. He's a great guy for our city. So what about your team right now?
Oh man, we trying to string together some wins, man. I guess if you want to call it, But man, I think I think they finally buying in. They finally buying in and playing for one another and playing for the 3 letters on their shirt. You know what I'm saying? And that's LSU. So like I say, every team has bumps in the road, but these guys, we got a great group of guys that's resilient, that's willing to learn, that's willing to play, and then they just buy into the system, man. And then you can't help but to love to coach some guys like that.
Taz, sometimes when you start to roll like this, coaches start getting after the guys even harder. I know Wade kind of touched on that, talking about last year how you become almost a victim of your success. So how are y'all trying to stop the guys from buying into their own success? We're kind of resting on this win streak.
Well, one thing about Coach Wade, man, he's very routine, and he's sticking with what he was doing at first in order to get us to the winning streak, in order to get us harder and playing harder. So, he's sticking to the script, man, not changing nothing up. If he has to change, he would change. But right now, he's just staying on guys. Still stressing out our team values and team rules, and just making sure they don't forget. And he's doing a great job at that. And then we're just following his lead. That's all we're doing. He's the chief with the Indians, so we just following his lead because what he's got going on works.
What was the locker room like after finally getting a win that wasn't within 4 points?
Right. Oh man, the locker room was great, man. But like Coach Wade stressed again, he was like, "See, guys, this is what I was talking about. Let's close out games. Let's finish out games the right way." And he had a tactic, and he exuded on them guys and us, and we bought in. Basically, we all bought in, and to just trying to close out games.
Tasman, still to this day, you know that I'm a basketball junkie, but my favorite team of all time is the 2006 LSU team. You guys were as close as any team. I was around that team, had access to you guys, but you were all from the state of Louisiana. But one thing that you guys held in common is that Kobe Bryant was the ultimate. He was the ultimate competitor. Anytime you can go back and see highlights of that team, we had great access to Nike at that time, T-Bob.
Yeah.
They were at Nike school, and we had a great contact, and this is all compliant. But if you go back and look at Tasman, Tyrus Thomas, D. Mitch, Glenn Davis, Big Baby,
no wonder they went to Final Four.
They were all wearing Kobe's on that team. Were really tough to get your hands on. They were personalized. And I know, Taz, how much that meant to you guys. Tell me, as a competitor, as a guy that meant so much to basketball at the time that you were coming out, what Kobe meant to you.
Oh, man. like I say, I wrote on my Facebook page not too long ago that Kobe was my generation's Michael Jordan. We heard about Mike. We caught Mike on his downslide, just about to retire. But Kobe was our guy. We watched him grow. We watched his game grow. And this guy, I'm not gonna say imitated Jordan because they're two different people, but he was the closest thing to Jordan that the NBA ever seen. And so we looked up to the guys like that, man. I feel like, to be honest, man, I feel like I lost a piece of my childhood.
Yep.
I lost a piece of my childhood. It's like your mom taking away a toy that you can't play with no more. You know what I'm saying? Not that he was a toy, but just a scenario like that, man. I just feel like he was the epitome of NBA basketball for our generation, and he set the standards. He set the standards. He set the standards for us as basketball players and young adolescents. So I'm deeply hurt by that, man. I never met him, never played with him. Never been in the same room with him, but I just feel like I knew him.
Brandon Bass played with him. Garrett played against him. Tyrus played against him. There's been some great pictures that's come out from that crew of whether it's him and B. Bass warming up before a championship game, or Garrett guarding him while he's in Washington, or Tyrus playing alongside him in an All-Star Weekend contest. What do you hear from those guys that are such good friends of yours that was able to play with him or just get a piece of his mentality for a small moment?
Man, I talked to them guys, man. I talked to Tyrus about it, and I said, man, y'all had a privilege, man. Y'all had a privilege to even touch his jersey. You know what I'm saying? To even try to block his shot or something like that, man. Y'all had that privilege, and I can't imagine how you guys feel, especially you guys, ex-NBA guys in the NBA family. I know how I feel. I can only imagine how y'all lost a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's a lifelong fraternity that y'all were all in together, and I can only imagine how they feel, man. But they were like, they couldn't believe it either. They hated playing against him as a competitor, but they always respected him as a competitor.
Yeah, he was fierce. I'm like you, man. It's almost like a piece of memory of your childhood, a piece of growing up is gone.
When it just keeps coming in waves. Like when we were doing an interview earlier, I think when Hunt was in here, it was like some Kobe highlights and him, Gianna running around on the court after one of the championships, and it's just like all of a sudden it hits you again, like wow, like really, like Kobe. It's
still unbelievable, man. Still unbelievable.
It really is. Tasmin, what's it like to go from a big time recruit to a recruiter? Like now that you're a recruiter. How much do you remember being the number one recruit in the country? Do you fall back on that? Do you use that when you talk to these guys?
Yeah, sometimes, but I try not to put my experiences on those guys because it's about them. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of I kind of use how I was getting recruited. To today's recruiting. You know what I'm saying? Just basically letting guys know how important they are to us and our program. And, just really stressing it and really meaning it, so, but I try not to use how I was recruited because, everybody was recruited, have to be recruited differently, So, yeah, man, but I use that for myself as an experience. I try not to talk about it too much,
Yeah. You guys got it going on right now, man. Keep them hot. Thank you for the memories and the time this morning. I know y'all are busy up there. We'll see you in the Maravich Center tomorrow morning.
Oh, man. All right. Thanks, Jordy. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Taz.
There he is, Tasmin Mitchell, checking in, LSU basketball assistant coach. Tigers going to take on Ole Miss tomorrow morning inside the Maravich Center. That'll be at 11 o'clock tip-off, 10:30 pregame for you on Eagle 98.1 if you want to catch up with the Tigers and the Land Sharks, Black Bears, Rebels, whatever they are.